Murunga. I am an entrepreneur, an ex-banker. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 6 years. I set up AMADIVA in 2010. Actually, this is our 7th year. So this is my little baby, and this is the franchise version of our store. The name is actually my name. It's my grandfather's name. So you don't actually say it as AMADIVA. You say AMADIVA. It's a Luya name. My grandfather was Jotham AMADIVA. My mom is Kahoya and I'm Kadeza AMADIVA. So it's actually just a name. We've recently gotten into a joint venture with the KCB Foundation. Reason being, we found that we train a lot of students and they get jobs. And a lot of them actually want to set up their own businesses, but funding has been very difficult. Why? Because a lot of these students don't have access to financial services. We're in the informal sector, which makes it very difficult. But with this joint venture with KCB, we're now able to get them funding so that once you're done with your training and you've worked with us for a few months, you then get access to funding. And the idea is you can actually get your own fully kitted salon, which comes in the container. It's very cost effective and KCB funds that. So we're creating employment as a joint venture. So students, youth actually go to school funded by KCB. They then have a job. And if you do really well and you're really committed, you will get access to funding and eventually set up your own. You're also creating employment because you have to take in some people. This is exactly what we were hoping for in terms of partnering with other private sector and even with governments to be able to now create opportunities for the youth. A lot of people look at salons and think, it's just a salon. But we employ a lot of people. If you take into consideration, there's 20,000 salons in Kenya. And if each one is employing at least 10 youth, that's 200,000 youth off the street. So for us as AMADIVA, we're now using this as a platform to stand on so that we can actually grow our brand and in turn pull up youth. And as we're doing that, quite a few of my staff employees, for example, who've been with me anything between 6 years to 3 years, have been able to grow themselves. I have a staff member who recently took up a mortgage. No one would expect that from a hairdresser. But now she actually will be able to do it formally. Instead of trying to hustle, instead of trying to get into the financial system, with this platform we're now able to provide all these facilities. So one, Jiamini, alafu Tujiajiri. In 5 years' time, I see AMADIVA as rolling out in all the counties together with KCB. So that's another thing that has been great for us because wherever they are, we're very capable of rolling out the franchise. It takes us exactly 2 weeks to actually build one of these containers. They're 40-foot containers. They employ 13 people. So you can imagine if we're able to roll out into 47 counties multiple times all over, and have the support of the financier and actually train other youth, that means there'll be employment galore. So we're really looking forward to, in 5 years' time, at least having a footprint in each county. Yeah. I would like to say to them that a lot of them who think that bankers earn more money. I was an ex-banker, I know this, but when I run the payroll for my staff members, it's a completely different story. The people who work in salons are very hardworking, they're very committed, they're creative, so they may lack, the skills to be able to do things financially, but that's what, you stepping in to mentor as a parent, you stepping in as a business, that's what people will grow from. And more so, some of them, as I say, they're taking things like mortgages, which would never have been, I'm sure many of you would not even think that there's a hairdresser who has mortgages, but I'm here to tell you that it's very possible. If somebody is passionate about something, please support them, because that way they will grow. And remember, not all of us are going to be bankers, not all of us are going to be lawyers. We all have different skills, and I think it's time that we started supporting the creative industry.
Buddha.
These are Kenyan made butters. For someone who's already offering, the ones who offer the scholarship, is that you at the back there? Yeah. Do you want to share the picture? I met the president today.